It would be equally wrong not to enclose in this company of the one being addressed, the one that really need to be addressed. Therefore, the prime societies in Britain, where we have to talk here about the organic reasons why someone needed and continue to need to have employed such high-scale monstrous practices from where they never managed to get out from. In that context, I'm going to find the Russians being younger and as appear to be as they do not have exactly prime population. Well, any other continent would have prime population. The only reason here that we can find is because the plateau was frozen in Ice Age, and therefore their ancient population, their prime population actually ended to be frozen. So in that context, Russia appeared as a newer land, a newer society. While the rest of the territories will have much heavier prime elements that will need to be addressed on heavier account, because they still enclose very much monstrous pagan practices and continue to hide behind some perceived new new countries and higher currencies and higher civilizational settings. But under that declared institutionalized political civilizational developing platform, they have very much still very intact prime behavior, prime practices, and that will need now to be discussed, to be addressed. I realize now that there would be some reason why Scotland became made out of tribes dragged from ancient Macedonia by Celts. I wonder why Celts needed to drag the tribe of little people of Macedonia. Apart of the fact that they certainly made Macedonia to be less troubled by such extreme elements, I'm going to assume they needed certain reasons why they needed these people, and that would be obviously organic nature. Now we have to notice, therefore, that we have, as a result, two extreme territories, as it is Ireland and as it is Scotland, which exist in the extremism of their prime societies, to what England appear as a new wave, and clearly very much backed by these prime lands. England happens here as a rotten child platform. I'm going to now understand what they have been doing here, trying always to look for kids to inherit the crown or the chair, the decision-making chair, allegedly decision-making chair, so they can actually hide behind these young kids with their monstrous practices. And that is going that far as it is engaging our ancient territories, their ancient Macedonia and surrounding plateau, where they continue to hunt or to look for reincarnations and engage these kids for younger age as some kind of as some kind of axis, as some kind of Oscar, upon which they are going to rotate and bring their much more extreme practices, being leveled by some kind of the indicator, how far they cannot go and where they should be getting close to or relative to. But the fact is that they have allowed for themselves enough range of free will behavior with enormous element of destructive vandal practices. Now, the scale of this is territorial scale is all the way to ancient territories. How far? Well, we have to notice that it is therefore our planet. on the plate here. And what has been served? Hidden, pagan, monstrous affairs on the surface of some children-run civilization, which continue to be confused what actually they are supposed to do, and always appear as they get on the surface of things, because they're always these invisible hands that do not know exactly how to navigate the playground and bring the happy end on the stage. Although always we pay with enormous amount of victims, an enormous amount of human slaughter, and monstrous affairs, many people implicated in various trouble affairs, literally driven, manipulated, hypnotized into various vandal and disgraceful affairs, discrediting their territories as well, the entire cultural setting. It is time that we confront here what are the most prime societies and the most active prime societies that would hold the highest of the powers to and generated enough capital so they can play that level of game. And I have to notice here that Masonry exists as and Masons exist as the most established, officially institutionalized order that would have enough institutional capacity and enough access to capital to continue to do their millennium-old pagan affairs. There is no any other country when you have such active order in such empowered positions as it is their societies. And it is not just that we look at the entire the infrastructure itself, the institutional face of it, but what it is, but the fact that it exists as a platform behind which you have triggered all of these prime energies that get awakened and active under such, behind such curtains of these established institutionalized interfaces. And that is today, in general, the British Islands continue to be on one side that civilizational interface, and on the other side have that curtain of that theater, and behind which you have clear scope of pagan societies. Now that is from where today Westlands cannot escape, cannot run away. And I'm not going to accept excuses now, or they crying loud out there that they are in some kind of hardship. The planet is in hardship, that need to now confront existence of such structures and that need to deal with it. That is the definition of hardship, not the one that have been out of leash for a longer period of time and now have to learn how to get themselves in constraint. I'm not going to be sorry for such structures. I'm going to be sorry for the victims of their monstrous behavior in all of this time. And we need to today compensate in any possible way and prevent further escalation of such monstrous behavior associated with these prime societies, especially empowered as are the prime societies of British Islands. And I cannot possibly leave out of leash here Macedonia, the socialism of Macedonia, which become one of the most monstrous destinations for where it has become very active. The entire concept of pharmaceutical companies, or famous as pharma companies, that are actually hiding behind it the entire Medicare, which in substance would include witchery, rather, would incorporate palette of witchery, of which that territory still has not managed to heal from. Still variety of cases out there of people literally being literally doing this which level of gang level of conflict and which level of fighting each other. But in socialism of Macedonia, um, Macedonia of socialism, that continue to be institutionalized within the powerful pharmaceutical industry and very notorious medical surgeon related hospitalization of, of the entire political system, that is using this kind of methods, Nazi related, very much Nazi related. Now, if we want to talk about Nazism, that is where is the birthplace of Nazism. But we are going to notice that certainly entire British islands are not going to be free out of it, because in substance they drive on exactly same methods and exactly same sentiments.